Welcome to episode 30 of Learn English with Podcast. This is our Level 6 episode, which means it's designed for advanced learners. Today, I'm going to take you on an engaging journey through some fun and interesting topics. We'll explore new vocabulary, idioms, and even share some funny stories. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive in. First, let's talk about a fascinating concept, the butterfly effect. Have you heard of it? The butterfly effect is the idea that small causes can have large effects. It comes from chaos theory in mathematics, where the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil could set off a tornado in Texas. Isn't that mind-blowing? This idea teaches us that even small actions can have significant consequences. So, the next time you think your efforts don't matter, remember the butterfly effect. Speaking of effects, let's discuss some idioms related to animals. English is full of them, and they are quite fun to use. Have you ever heard the phrase, the elephant in the room? It means there's an obvious problem or issue that everyone is ignoring. For example, imagine a family at dinner, and everyone is avoiding talking about the fact that the oldest sibling just lost their job. That's the elephant in the room. Funny how we use animals to describe situations, right? Another idiom is let the cat out of the bag. This means to reveal a secret, often accidentally. Picture this: you're planning a surprise party for a friend, and someone casually mentions it in conversation. Oops, the cat's out of the bag. It's always interesting to see how these idioms add color to our conversations. Let's switch gears and talk about something I find incredibly funny, puns. Do you like puns? They're a type of wordplay that exploits multiple meanings of a term or similar-sounding words for humorous or rhetorical effect. Here's one for you. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. It's a groan-worthy joke, but it always gets a chuckle. Now, I want to share a funny story from my own life. It's about the time I tried to impress my friends with my cooking skills. I decided to make a fancy dinner with a recipe I found online. It seemed simple enough. Just follow the instructions, right? Well, I misread one step and ended up adding a tablespoon of salt instead of a teaspoon. The result? A dish so salty that it was inedible. My friends were polite, but I could see them struggling to keep a straight face. We ended up ordering pizza and laughing about my epic cooking fail. Have you ever had a cooking disaster? It's all part of the learning process. Speaking of learning, let's talk about language learning strategies. One effective method is immersion. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. Watch movies, listen to music, and, of course, tune into podcasts like this one. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more natural it will become. Another tip is to practice speaking with native speakers. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's how you learn and improve. Now, let's have a quick quiz to test your understanding. Ready? Here we go. What does the elephant in the room mean? If someone lets the cat out of the bag, what have they done? Why don't scientists trust atoms? Think about your answers while we continue our chat. Next, I want to tell you about an interesting cultural phenomenon, flash mobs. Have you ever seen one? A flash mob is a group of people who assemble suddenly in a public place, perform an unusual and seemingly pointless act for a brief time, then disperse. These performances can range from dancing to freeze mobs, where everyone suddenly freezes in place. Flash mobs are usually organized via social media and are a form of entertainment and social experiment. Imagine walking through a shopping mall, and suddenly, everyone around you starts dancing in perfect synchronization. It's unexpected and delightful. On the topic of surprises, did you know that laughter has numerous health benefits? It's true. Laughter reduces stress, boosts the immune system, and even burns calories. So, laughing at my cooking mishap wasn't just fun, it was healthy too. What's the funniest thing that has happened to you recently? Share it with friends or write it down. Reliving funny moments can bring a smile to your face and brighten your day. Let's explore another idiom, raining cats and dogs. This means it's raining very heavily. Imagine stepping outside and being drenched instantly. You might say, it's raining cats and dogs out here. Have you ever been caught in a heavy downpour? It can be quite the experience, especially if you're not prepared. Speaking of being unprepared, let's talk about the importance of preparation and planning. Have you ever had a situation where you didn't plan ahead and things went awry? I remember a trip where I forgot to check the weather forecast. I ended up in a city during a rainy season without an umbrella or raincoat. I spent most of the trip soaked and cold. Lesson learned: always check the weather and pack accordingly. Now, let's circle back to our quiz. Here are the answers. The elephant in the room refers to an obvious problem or issue that everyone is ignoring. If someone lets the cat out of the bag, they've revealed a secret, often accidentally. Scientists don't trust atoms because they make up everything. Remember, this is a pun. How did you do? I hope you got all the answers right. If not, don't worry. It's all part of the learning process. As we continue, let's delve into some advanced vocabulary. Here are a few words to add to your lexicon. Serendipity, the occurrence of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. For example, finding a $20 bill on the ground can be considered serendipity. Ephemeral, lasting for a very short time. Flowers that bloom for just one day are ephemeral. Mellifluous, pleasingly smooth and musical to hear. A singer with a mellifluous voice has a beautiful, flowing sound. Try using these words in your conversations this week. It's a great way to enhance your vocabulary and impress others with your language skills. Let's take a moment to discuss storytelling. Stories are a powerful way to connect with people and convey messages. Whether it's a personal anecdote or a fictional tale, storytelling can captivate an audience and make information more memorable. Think about a story you love. What makes it special? Is it the characters, the plot, or the emotions it evokes? Share your favorite story with a friend and see how they react. I'd like to share a story with you. It's about a little girl named Emma who had a vivid imagination. Emma loved to play in her backyard, pretending it was a magical kingdom. One day, she found a strange-looking key buried in the dirt. She was curious and started searching for the lock it belonged to. After days of looking, she discovered an old, forgotten chest in her attic. The key fit perfectly. Inside the chest, she found treasures from her grandparents' travels, each with its own story. Emma realized that her imagination and the real world were more connected than she thought. She spent hours creating new adventures with the treasures she found, enriching her life and those around her with her stories. Isn't imagination a wonderful thing? It allows us to explore new worlds and ideas without ever leaving our homes. What imaginative stories do you have? Share them with someone and see where your creativity takes you. Before we wrap up, let's talk about setting goals. Whether you're learning English or pursuing another passion, setting clear, achievable goals is crucial. Start with small, manageable steps and gradually increase the difficulty. Celebrate your successes along the way, no matter how small they may seem. Remember, Progress is progress, and every step forward is a step in the right direction. To finish off today's episode, I'd like to leave you with a thought-provoking quote from the famous author, J.K. Rowling. "It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." This quote reminds us that the decisions we make shape our lives and define who we are. So, make choices that reflect your values and aspirations. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Learn English with Podcast. I hope you found it both educational and entertaining. Remember, learning a language is a journey, and you're doing an amazing job. Keep practicing, stay curious, and most importantly, have fun with it. Until next time, take care and happy learning.